Now, you probably know most of the board members. We do have two representatives from Baptist Homes here. Dr. Ron Mackey on the end and Randy Parker here. And I think you probably know the rest of us, I would assume. With that much said, for a long time we have always started our meetings with a prayer. And I certainly think that is in order tonight. And I shall do that. I'll warn you, I'm not the best at it. We shall do our best. Gracious Father, we thank you for the people who come out tonight to show their interest in this community and this nursing home and the residents and the employees. And Father, we just thank you for them and ask your blessing upon them. And Father, as we speak tonight, Father, I would ask that each one speak truthfully and with respect for one another. Father, we certainly all have the same goal in mind, and that is the preservation of the home in this community, the care for the residents, as well as care for the residents' families. Father, we thank you for your love, your grace, and your presence with us. And may we acknowledge always that you are by our side. Thank you again for allowing us to be here this evening. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Amen.
Amen.
One of the first things I want to do is I want to amend the agenda. And Secretary, you need to take notes here. I'd like to amend the agenda to include public comments, which is not on the agenda, so we will do that immediately here. And then also I want to add item 12 to the agenda for executive session pursuant to Missouri Revised Statute number 610.021, Section 3.
Yeah, we have that.
We will be going into executive session later. I will make a comment before we start. I have here the resignation of our administrator. She resigned today, and I have accepted that. And our contract did offer say that a 30-day notice, and I waived that. Today was her last day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Yeah. Some decisions are hard, but we thank you, and some are easy. But we thank you for being here, and I don't know where the paper's gotten to. Still back here in the corner. So I guess we'll just start. If you want to speak, stand up. I would ask that you give us your name and if you have a resident here, why you're here. Or if you're an employee, tell us what your position is and so forth. And we'll try to get accommodated here, everybody in. Okay, who wants to be first? Yes, sir.
You want me to come up front?
It's up to you, doctor. Whatever you prefer.
My name is Dr. Jim Foster. I am a locally raised person. I'm a 1983 graduate of South Shelby High School, 1991 graduate from the College of Veterinary Medicine in Columbia, Missouri. I came back to Shelby County because I truly wanted to be here, and I became immediately involved in the community. 31-year board member from the Shelbina Arts Council. In the past few years, I've been a board member for the Shelby County Historical Society. I recently did a few years, 6 years, as a board member for the Shelby County R4 School District. So I know what these people are going through and what they go through all the time, and I want to thank them for their service because I know it's difficult, especially you're dealing basically with three groups of people. You're dealing with employees, you're dealing with residents, and you're dealing with their families and or their guardians. So it's a juggling act, and they have access to a lot of sensitive information that they cannot discuss with you. So I explain that on their behalf because we can't talk about names and we can't point fingers. What we need to do is express concerns and do it politely. My main concern I'm going to present to you and to the board is on the behalf of professional licensed people, and I am in that category. I'm probably in a rare category in that I knew immediately when I was very young what I wanted to do. My science teacher is sitting here, Kathy Lackey, so I'm one of her kids who made good on the deal, and I know everyone on this board. I've had interactions with them at some point or other. We all have farming in common, I think. And one thing that I've listened to recently concerning an issue is professionalism, and I think some of that has been taken care of from their announcement. But one thing that I wanted to present to them was something that I think would be great for especially our professionally licensed people who are working in the building. It also can apply to anyone who is an employee in this group. And that, and I typed this up for them if they want to review it. It might be something that they're already doing. It may be something that hasn't been done, but it's what I call an Articles of Employment for Professionally Licensed Employees. And what does that mean? It means, what am I guaranteed as an employee when I sign on here? If you don't know how difficult it is to hire, I can tell you right now, having been a school board member, it's tough. It's tough for veterinarians to hire, and it's really tough for our nursing homes. We're competing. I have just a small list of things that I think would be beneficial in hiring and retaining employees. And that's, to me, employment fairness. The first one was mandatory notice of deficiencies presented in writing. If I'm an employee and I'm not doing the job I want to know about it, it should be in writing. Employee is given sufficient time to remedy those deficiencies. If there's a problem, employees should have enough time to fix it. In my opinion, an employee should be given at least 72 hours notice if there's a potential termination of their job. That's only fair. You know, people have kids, you know, they have obligations, and they have to make money, and they have to have planning time if that's going to happen. Employees should be granted an appeal process before they're employed. They should be able to appeal a decision so that they can offer evidence on their behalf. In my opinion, an employee has the right to suspension with pay during that appeal process. If they are suspended, they should be able to draw their pay. Employee must be granted a letter of termination with a list of reasons within a proper amount of time. Should a professional licensed employee be terminated, that employee is entitled to receive payment of their salary, accrued unused sick days, and or vacation time at the time of their official termination. At the time of termination, any issues pertaining to their health insurance coverage should be reviewed with that employee as they leave. During the 72 hours of notification of potential termination, employee is given the right to submit a letter of resignation. However, the board does reserve the right to accept or deny that resignation letter. All professional employees will have the right to provide the board an evaluation of their administrator. I think that's a valuable tool for the board to know how their employee is doing, because the administrator is the employee of the board. This is how it's pretty much very similar to how it is set up with our school districts. You know, our teachers have various rights to make sure that they are not wrongfully terminated. And that's kind of what I went on, and that was the experience and the things that I learned. I'll ask you guys a question. Did you all go through board training to do this? I didn't know if the state mandated that you go through a
No.
board training process. School board members, it's a Missouri statute, we have to go through, it was a day-long process. It's offered in various towns. David Farrell and I went to Columbia and did that. They go over the sunshine laws, they go over the various rules that you have to follow with school districts. So, I'm just gonna leave this with you all. I wanted to thank the representatives from the Baptist Home. Thank them for coming in, being of a service, and doing what they can to keep us going, because that is what we've got to work everyone together to keep this thing going. I'm part of the generation that watched it be built. You know, I'm old enough to remember the bricks going up. And it was quite an effort, because it took a while to get it to pass to build this. And I'll probably write a story for our local paper about that. One thing that I wanted to say to our reps from Baptist Home, Shelby Countyans, we have a long history with them. Goes way back. I brought them some articles from our local newspaper. 1916, Baptist Home had an orphanage in St. Louis. And
That was the children's home.
was that the children's home?
We get confused all the time.
Okay, well, they had Baptist in the,
I just tell them that our people are the children with wrinkles.
okay. But we've had a great relationship with the Baptist group by donating to their missionary causes. 1916, the citizens of Shelby during Christmas sent 200 bags of Christmas candy to the orphans. There's all kinds of stories throughout all of Shelby County of the goodwill that was extended to the Baptist group and the good deeds that were done. And I hope we can continue that relationship, and as a community that we can work to keep this thing going. As far as your finances go, I don't know, I'm sure you've had a lot of discussions because I know what that's all about. But I had talked to somebody and I said, are we to a point that we have enough space that we could offer assisted living? Do we have enough space that we could offer like retirement apartments in the rooms to help generate money? I know the money thing is always a thing, and if there's any way to help generate income, those would be two ideas I'd toss out at you.
We'll always take donations.
Yeah, and donations, yeah. So, thank you.
Thank you.
In reference to what Dr. Foster mentioned, we have at times discussed apartments. However, another nursing home pretty close to us did that, could not fill them, and have closed them. And assisted living, we did have a wing at one time that we designated, and we just did not have the population that we needed to sustain that. We have discussed all those ideas. So thank you. Doctor, I won't say you talked too long, but if we could limit it a little bit, so we can get home maybe before midnight. Who else would like to speak? Yes. And would you introduce yourself, please?
I am Catherine Winkler. Little different topic than everyone else. I was going through my mother's insurance claims yesterday and found questionable charges from 2 nurse practitioners for psychiatric evaluations on my mother. I would ask that everyone check anything that was charged. The names of the 2 that I found were E. Garrett Pruitt. Hers was from 11/28/23. The other was Tiffany Nelson. She was the 11/28/23. The other one was 12/30/23. I am my mother's power of attorney. I have made it very clear no one is to see my mother without me being there or a designated family member. They gave no opportunity to give permission. The insurance company has paid those claims, and when I talked to them today, They encouraged me to file insurance fraud, which I am in the process of doing. I've already filed with the Division of Aging for HIPAA violations and anything else, fraud, the whole 9 yards, but check everything to make sure that what you're paying for is what you're getting. I'm sorry?
I just might say in reference to that, the board knew nothing about this. I learned of it this afternoon for the very first time.
Well, I talked to the administrator this morning and was not happy.
Well,
Can you tell us how much those charges were?
Yeah, gladly. Oh, also it says it was inpatient, which if you know about billing, that means you're in a psychiatric ward or in a hospital. My mother has never been. That charge, the first one was for $319.14, of which the insurance company paid $133.66, and says on the statement that my mother owes them $33.41. The second one was for $183.16. The insurance paid $72.58, and they say she owes them $18.15. I will be writing letters to the Board of Healing Arts in every other blessed place I can find, because this is wrong.
Absolutely.
If
I'm
anybody
sure,
wants help, I'll help you. You can come
okay, who's, anyone else?
There's a gentleman
Is
here.
it Mr. Burkhardt?
She was talking about insurance. And they did pay some. I've been in here going on 4 years. And I have not collected a dime from my insurance. And they keep, when it first came in here, I was a basket case. And it was turned in, and there was no reason why I shouldn't have got, approved. Now it's this and that, this and that. And, I had a meeting with people in here about 2 weeks ago, and they told me that, it was all set up, and we haven't heard a thing.
I think, Melissa, you've been working on this, is that correct?
Yeah, we've all.
And I will say in reference to that, if any of you have nursing home insurance, you need to read your policies very closely. They will do everything possible to keep from paying.
Well, everybody I talked to about it has got that stuff, they can't get paid.
Well,
And I'm not the only one in
Yeah.
there, it's not.
it's the insurance companies, they have guidelines and
Well, do
it's
they
hard to
pay-
meet.
Do they pay any attention to a lawsuit?
Well, they might, I don't know.
Probably not.
Well, I'm willing to do it.
Yeah.
We already did.
And another thing I want to talk about, and I was the first meeting when the doctor was here, and I talked to him. And, I understood that, when this here was formed, that the Baptist had 21 people on their board. And
That's probably correct.
and it's like one. He come over and talked to me, and I thought, he's not gonna talk to me, get on board, I've been on that myself. But anyway, I understood that the board would be changed here.
This board is still in control.
Yeah.
I know it's still in control.
This board will remain in effect until such time as the home is purchased. Of course, you also know we are elected. That's
I
the
know
only
that,
way,
yeah,
that's the only
yeah.
change you can make.
Yeah,
And so far, no one's run against me. I don't know why, but I'm willing to pay them now.
well, I'm a firm believer in term limits.
Well, in that case, you would throw me out, because this is starting my 25th year.
I know you've been, I've been on board a few times myself, but I always want to get old.
Thank you, Mr. Burkhardt.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let's see. I got maybes and I got yeses. Scotty Peacock?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You got a maybe.
Yeah,
slowly, but I went slow racing. After the meeting last week, I kinda got the impression that the administrator really didn't know what the heck she was talking about. She didn't really satisfy anything to me at all. And I was kinda hoping that she was gonna be here today, because I was gonna tell her maybe Baptist homes in Salt River wasn't I forgot the darn word. But it was what happened at Toastmasters at Macon in the late 1990s, when Toastmasters and Salt merged. That's what the word was. And I was gonna ask this administrator, is that what Baptist homes in Salt River, what they were doing, is that what this is called, a merge? Because I can tell you from past experience from Toastmasters that when two parties merge, the bigger party of the merge has someone that they either already have them or they hire them to act as a henchman. And in the termination of Mrs. Deeker, I was gonna tell Kim that you proved to me that you and the Baptist Homes is not gonna shut this place down. You prove it to me. But if she's gone, well then I guess she's not gonna be able to do that, which I think is a big plus. And that's really all I wanted to say.
Well, Scotty, I can tell you that if it weren't for Baptist Homes, we would be closed down.
Yes,
We would be gone.
yes. And that would happen months ago.
Yeah.
They have saved us. And
I believe in the Baptist homes. I do think they're
Debbie,
gonna be good.
after the meeting last week, Debbie told me that she was actually scared of what was possibly gonna happen out here.
If this place closed down, I'd have no place to go to. I have a house that we own, but I can't live in it.
We'll take care of you, Debbie.
Yeah.
Hang in there.
I've heard
Thank
that from all kinds of people, and I believe in them.
Yeah, I have now that Kim's gone, I kinda have a better impression, better outlook from here on out.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, next one on my list, I have a maybe from Carol Hubbard.
That's me.
Yes, I know.
I will reserve that maybe for maybe a later on. I'll see how the rest of the meeting goes.
Okay. She's pulling a politician, I reserve my time.
Absolutely.
What I was saying, I meant nothing offensive against Baptist Homes.
Don't take it up.
They really have been our savior. Honestly, they have been. We would have been closed a long time ago. Beth Stiefel,
I too will wait and see if
Okay.
there's anything,
question mark.
whether it needs to be addressed.
Okay. Dorothy Bray, is that correct?
That's me.
Where? Okay, hi.
I'm just speaking, I've been coming here for a couple of years, helping one of the residents, Carla. And I've made a lot of friends here. I'm here almost every day. And I see almost everybody in this room, the staff, the residents. I've made so many good friends. One of them is Linda Deeker. I grew up in the nursing home business. My mom was a nursing home administrator for over 30 years. So I know all the ins and outs of everything that goes on. But I'm speaking highly for Linda is the main reason I am here. When Carla has been really sick, and that's happened a couple of times, the minute Linda walks in her room, she may be so sick that she pops right up out of that bed and her face lights up, and she makes my face light up too when I see her. So that's the only thing I wanted to speak for. I am glad. I've never met the administrator. I don't know what she looks like. And that in itself says one thing. You should be seeing your your administrator out in the hallways. And the residents should know and recognize the administrator. So, I mean, you see Linda, you see all the staff, but when you don't see an administrator, and you don't know what she looks like or anything, I had to have somebody show me a picture, I'd never met her. That's something that needs to be remedied. So that's all I have to say. And I was very intimidated because he was my math teacher, so.
And look what it got you. Mr. Timbrook.
It's your turn, or one of these two.
Or Mrs. Timbrook.
All my has already been taken care of.
Okay. I got a couple more. Okay. Deborah Lair. Okay.
Debbie Lair.
I am a retired nursing home administrator and was in the field for, well, since 1983.
Are you interested in?
Yeah. My husband said, don't get included. Anyway.
Her license is still effective.
She checked it out. It is, but, yeah. Anyway. That's very nice of everybody. I appreciate that. I just wanted to say that it is very hard as a board, as someone working in a nursing home and trying to keep things going. And I felt that unfortunately in the past, that you had an administrator that might not have been good for the facility. And then obviously this one also. And I did not know her at all. I did know Tim. It's something that I wish that it hadn't come to this, you know, that this person had to resign, and when she resigned, I feel like says it all, that she wasn't able to back herself up. Because if you resign just like that, you're not backing yourself up, so I don't think that she had the ammunition that she needed to come to you guys, and especially to all these people, and those poor people that are out there eating, because they need supervision. And from what I've heard, Linda she goes over and beyond, and that's what, number one, the administrator needs to do, and number two, the director of nursing. I hated being in my office. It was one of those things, and when I just got tired of that bogging down of administrative things, you get up and you go, and the first thing that you do, those residents are the ones that pick you up and know that's why you're there. And so I just feel that resignation is probably what this facility needs, and get back on track. Get back on
First off, I'm Roxy Stoneburner, and thank you all. I think of you as friends. I know how hard this is, and I appreciate you all being willing to do this. My mom, Bessie Ann, my sister's, our mom is here, and she has been so satisfied with the care and the love. But things have just went so much better when Linda was here. And Eden working with Linda, the care was wonderful. I think most of you have heard this story that Eden and Melissa arranged for Mom to be taken to a basketball game on their own time last Friday night. The care is amazing. That comes from Linda too, though. My mom will say, oh, that Linda Deeker, she's such a sweet thing. When she comes in here, it's just like sunshine. And I really hope we can get back to that. I really hope that we can have Linda back in here. And you can pay me money later. But we have felt for a long time that things have turned around and the care has turned. Not that it was bad before, it's just taken a step up. and we're very thankful for that. Again, thank you all for serving Baptist Homes. Thank you for being part of this home because we love it. It's
home.
It's home.
Okay. No one else has made a mark, so you're up.
I'm up. My name is Jean Fox Evans. My brother David is here as a private pay patient. That's a big difference between
Yes.
Medicare and Medi-Cal.
Right. Mhm.
I do not expect extra because he's a private pay patient, but I'm concerned about the staff shortages. What is the current staffing that you need? Because that's not, I don't know if that's been discussed, but do you need a social worker? Do you need a community outreach worker because your census is low? Do you need CNAs? Do you need LPNs? Do you need CMTs? I used to work in nursing homes. So, at the end of smell test, you guys have passed it every time that I've been in here.
So we're always concerned about employees. We can always probably use a few more. They are difficult to find.
I know they're difficult to find.
During the COVID, there was hundreds and hundreds of thousands of healthcare workers that left the field and never came back.
True.
And hospitals are facing the same thing. Hannibal, I talked to a fellow the other day that worked with Boone County, Boone Hospital. They're losing $1 million a month because they cannot get the help they need. We're struggling. I'll admit that, but we are working on it. We were advertising, and I think I was in the office last Thursday morning. We had 2 applicants. So people are wanting to come to work here.
Have you done any outreach within the community, or Clarence, or Moberly? These towns are.
We have advertised on radio, we've advertised in newspapers. There's
Linda initiated some of that advertisement, I want to add.
and
you have had several come back.
there's a website called Indeed,
Yes.
which you might be familiar with or may not, but it is kind of an employment agency type thing. We've advertised there too.
Have you gone to like, where they have employment forums for people to come, like a health forum?
March 1st, we are the lead sponsor at Hannibal Grange University for a student health fair. And one credit there. There you go.
We're working on it.
I know.
Libby had her hand up.
Okay.
So I can address some of the staffing issue, because even if they haven't advertised, I can guarantee you that I have. Because, my name's Libby Yao, sorry. So if you know me, I was here for 14 years.
Come back.
I have this other gig still going on. I work for the University of Missouri, going to 167 nursing homes, but I'm telling you, Salt River is my home. So I encourage Baptist Homes and Jerry to make that contact. But I'm gonna tell you that who is in this room is the best people to recruit staff. Absolutely. There is no minimum. There used to be. 25 years ago, you had to have one person for 20 on nights, one person for 15 on evenings, one person for 10 on days. That's no longer the case. It really has to go by facility assessment, which is the care that people need in the building. So if you have 10 people up walking and can dress themselves, take care of themselves, feed themselves, is a whole lot different than maybe somebody with 10 people that have maybe a feeding tube and a catheter. It's the quality and quantity of care that those people need. So just to answer a little bit about that staff, but really recruiting is here. I mean, to get some people back, we have good people in place. We do have good people in place, and every one of us in here are praying that with the situation that happened this afternoon, that we could rectify this too and keep the good staff that we have. But we
Yes.
do have, and I can tell you that the people who are here care, and you can't teach caring. You can teach hand washing, you can teach peri-care, you can teach feeding, you can teach a lot of things, but you cannot teach people to care.
Good job.
Eden, it's your turn. I overlooked you, I think. Sorry.
I'm so glad Libby went before because I cry about everything. Anybody who knows me knows I cry about it, and it's because I care. So if I can't get through this, I'm gonna have Sammy finish it. I'm already starting. Here we go. This is why I'm not an RA, and I want to add to because I can't pass public speaking. A famous football player once said, "Amateurs make decisions based." I'm shaking my glee. Based on emotion, but professionals make decisions based on their commitments. Okay, I can do it. I got this. All right. In long-term care, where no one will ever, there will never be enough money or staff, quality health care delivery requires commitment, compassion, and love. That's what sustains and inspires nurses. Gosh dang, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to mentally wrap it up in there, but it's not happening. We live in this community. Our children go to school here. Our family members, Sam, you're going to take over. Eventually will arrive at Salt River for the final years of their lives. For dedicated nursing staff, our work isn't oh my gosh, you gotta do it. Sorry. It's not just a resume. We're not here for a resume. We're here. Yep, take it over.
Don't read it, just talk.
Just talk.
Just talking. Yeah, don't read Eden, just tell us. Just tell us.
Okay.
Just tell us.
Our families, our kids go to school here, and we're a family.
Yes, we are.
And the reason that I'm just gonna wrap it up pretty quick. Linda came when there was a COVID outbreak, and she significantly increased morale in this building, and we needed it so bad. And I'm so sorry I'm such a ball baby. She assisted nurses on the floor. She leads by example.
Yes.
The mendacity of the administrator that was here, that I witnessed with my own eyes, we felt like we weren't safe here anymore. And as nurses, we were being lied about, us and Linda, and things were being said constantly, just that we're evil. And so that's why we too put our resignation in, because when Linda left, it made us lose our hope for this place. So before you announced Kim, I was just gonna ask you to please review the facts amongst yourselves, because that's what you need to do. Make your own conclusions on what you hear from everybody, because that's what truth is. You hear your truth. We're gonna act with integrity every time, and that is your nursing management, and I think you should be very proud of that. But ultimately, your decisions necessarily influence ours. So the choices that was the first choice of Kim going, I was gonna say that I won't work for her. And I mean that, I don't mean that to be a threat. I mean that because I can't. My heart can't work for someone like that, and I won't. Because we deserve better. So faced with choices, we're all faced with choices every day. You can either do what is right, or you can do what is easy, and we're gonna always do what's right.
Thank you, Eden. We do have an excellent staff.
It's
And I
gonna
think
get better.
And I say that to all levels, whether it's maintenance, whether it's kitchen, and we're gonna lose our head dietitian, unfortunately. She's retiring.
We still have time to talk her out of that.
Well, I've tried.
Hey, she's been here 35 years. She served her time.
And the nursing staff is wonderful. I've always said the only thing I could do here is mow the yard and maybe paint a room. Don't ask me to do anything else.
The nursing
But-
staff really is wonderful. They
Yes,
treat
yes.
them like they're their family.
Yes.
I know somebody who brings scalloped cabbage in because she has a resident that loves it. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it's just good.
I've never had that in my life, that stuff's delicious.
And I'm sorry to interrupt, but the staff is just wonderful.
And I
it
will
comes
tell
from the
you,
lead down.
we will do our best to get Linda Deeker back on staff.
But you need to make sure that you can keep eating and Sammy.
Hey,
Kelly,
it's a
Aaron.
package deal.
I can tell you, the sustainability of the home and the care is upmost on all the board members' minds.
And we appreciate you all too.
Yes, we
My
do.
mother was here, my mother-in-law was here, my wife's aunt was here. We have 3 board members now that have residence here. So we have a great concern for everyone here.
And we're all gonna be here soon.
That's why I want it to last. I have a place to go. Sammy, you have something you want to say?
I want to add on, I didn't get to finish my letter because I was out working the floor today.
Good, thank you.
Got you. It's not just Eden and I who have put in our resignations, it's other nurses as well.
Tear them up.
It's other staff who are talking about putting in their resignation with the termination of Linda. All of us who work here have been in the facility seeing the difference that she makes. I understand you guys see the effects of that with your family members and when you visit, but we see it every day. Linda takes care of her staff. We went through a COVID outbreak and she came on right in the middle of that. We were in crisis mode. She worked with COVID. She was very sick. We all worked with COVID to take care of your family members. Board members, us nurses, nursing staff are looking for 2 miracles tonight. One of those has happened. The second one is bringing this lady back.
Thank you. Carol Hubbard, you had a question mark? Yes.
Yeah, well.
Well, I had a question mark by your name, excuse me.
I am Carol Hubbard, I am Linda Deeker's sister. So, I've known Linda. You made me cry, and I didn't know this time. But anyway, I'm gonna try to get through this. Linda is the most compassionate, kind, smart, funny, as you all know, funny person I know. She loves these residents out here. These are people that we grew up with, mothers of our friends. And, you know, I have to tell a story that only a sister can tell me. Well, this will put the icing on the cake. So, our grandmother passed away out here. Our grandfather passed away out here. Our mother passed away out here. And our Eleanor passed away out here. So this is like our second home. And Jim, I remember when this thing was being built as well. So when our grandmother Neff was out here on B Wing, Mother and Linda and I would come visit her. Linda was probably, it was mid-70s, 5th or 6th grade. So we would go in to see grandmother, and pretty soon we'd notice, well, Linda's gone. So we would say goodbye to Grandma, and Mother and I knew that, okay, you take one side of the hall, we'll take the other. Because Linda would go up and down the hall visiting the people in the hall, and she didn't even know them. She was little, and that was her compassion. She's never lost it. She still has that. And I just want to say that I think as a board and as a nursing home, you were damn lucky to have her.
Yes.
It's really getting deep.
Beth,
I'm good. My prayer's been answered.
okay. Anyone else?
Can I speak?
Yes, you may.
Yes. Hey, I've got a story about Linda too.
I've heard this one.
Yeah.
You heard it from me. Oh, this is something. I'm just so overwhelmed and thankful. And I'm not a crier, but I think I'm gonna cry.
You work well together.
I really do too. Of all the support and all the compassion and everything that's been poured into this. And isn't it great that we have the community that we have, that we can come together when we see something's not right. We're gonna stick together, and that's who we are, and that's why we're gonna fight for these residents.
Yes.
It's why we fight for our employees. You know, it's a good thing. I hope you feel like I know things are crazy right now, but I hope you feel like, you know, this is gonna be good.
I'm
This
just
is a
looking for
tight-knit
scallop
community.
cabbage. I have no dinner yet.
Yeah. But what a wonderful thing that we can all come together and fight for what is right.
Yep.
Yes.
And thank you all for your support. I'm just overwhelmed by this. It's been very tough. And thank you, Carol. Carol's held my hand all the way through this. God love
That's
you.
what sisters do.
That's right, that's right. But anyway, and everybody for your support. I love you guys. Thank you so much.
Every time you met this lady in the hall, she spoke my name, said, "Hi, Richard." And that other, she turned her head.
Anyone else? There are items that we will be taking up later in executive session. And you obviously will know the results of that. I think this madam here, who is a sunshine law executive or whatever, they have to be posted within what?
24 hours in advance.
24 hours, okay. So 24 hours from now, you should know what our decisions are going to be. I think it's pretty obvious.
No.
Just come back out here.
Yeah.
You want me to call you?
You actually.
That'd be fine, but like I said, don't make us come back out.
No. If you're gonna go into executive session, you should have posted that 24 hours in advance. And the reasons,
Unless there's
being,
an emergency reason, which I
there
got this
sounds like there
afternoon.
is. And then you have 72 hours to make your minutes available, or time when they could be, once they've been publicly requested. So it's really up to you guys how soon, you know, if you're gonna.
We want to do it right, that's the thing.
So will that be posted on website?
No.
Not Facebook.
We'll get them and record it.
Okay.
We're here, we've got 2 bodies here for the Shelby County Herald, and we'll make this meeting available later on tonight.
Now, they can, after you have an executive session, if there's a vote taken in there, then that has to be reported in the regular meeting.
Yes.
And then that would be part of the minutes and available to the newspapers.
Yes.
You're more than welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting. We have some exciting stuff like reading the minutes.
Thank you.
Pay the bills. You're more than welcome to stay. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it.
YouTube? It'll be okay. You did great.
It's hard to get people to say yes. That's a tough job. Thank you for
That was for the initial survey. This is for,
so we need to approve
this is for their.
Okay, okay.
Contract.
I know. Okay.
The engineering specs.
Okay, we'll clear that.
Okay.
Is there anything I can do for you all?
Find us an administrator.
I've already racked my brain, I'm.
Yeah, find us one, will you?
I'm looking at one.
I
We'll
still have this other gig.
We'll give you 10 days.
I can call him, Grover. He'll let you have some time.
Would he?
What does he care? He's on his way out.
Right.
He's about to head to civilian. I follow him though. Yeah.
Excuse me,
Who
sorry.
does drive this year? Who drives? Jay Ashcraft.
She has no speed dial, I can do that.
Right.
Thanks for coming.
And then there are 4 or 5.
You're always welcome. Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm always.
You gotta watch that guy.
Well, that's why they make me sit here.
Back to regular session here. Since we did not get the minutes previous to the meeting, would you read those, please?
Yes, I will. Salt River Community Care Board minutes, January 23rd, 2024. Jerry Myers, Chairman, opened the meeting at 5:30. Those present were Jerry Myers, Sam Hawkins, Kathy Lackey, Lori Wilt, and Kim Harris, Acting Executive Director. Comments, concerns, there were none. Opening prayer, Kathy Lackey gave the opening prayer.
Jerry Myers presented the December 13th board minutes. The minutes were approved as read. Kathy Lackey presented the treasurer's report. Sam Hawkins made the motion to approve the report. Lori Wilt seconded the motion. Motion carried 4-0 with voting as follows. Jerry Myers, yes. Sam Hawkins, yes. Kathy Lackey, yes. And Lori Wilt, yes. Approval of bills. Kathy Lackey made the motion to approve the bills as presented. The board discussed agency outstanding bills. Sam Hawkins seconded the motion. Motion carried 4-0 with voting as follows. Jerry Myers, yes. Sam Hawkins, yes. Kathy Lackey, yes. And Lori Welch, yes. Old business. Operating budget. The board reviewed the budget as presented. Kathy Lackey made a motion to accept the provisional operating and board budgets as presented. Lori Welch seconded the motion. Motion carried 4-0 with voting as follows. Jerry Myers, yes. Sam Hawkins, yes. Kathy Lackey, yes. And Lori Welch, yes. Sewer update. Jerry Myers gave an update on the sewer project. He has signed a contract with G&W, the project manager for the project. They were here January 29th, and they will be here January 29th or 30th. Grape Tree Agency debt. Acting Director Harris gave an update on the agency debt. She reported the balances as follows. Prime time, $24,930. Next half, $22,915.80. Fusion, $204,877.80, and Grape Tree, 0 balance. New business miscellaneous. Acting Executive Director Kim Harris discussed authorizing Heather Cervini, Office Manager, to communicate with the bank regarding the checking accounts. Kathy Lackey made the motion to move. Lori Welch seconded the motion. Motion carried 4-0 with voting as follows. Jerry Myers, yes. Sam Hawkins, yes. Kathy Lackey, yes. And Lori Welch, yes. Request new contact with PCC Point Click Care. Acting Executive Director Kim Harris discussed implementing an abandonment policy. Kathy Lackey made the move to accept the policy as presented. Sam Hawkins seconded the motion. Motion carried 4-0 with voting as follows. Jerry Myers, yes. Sam Hawkins, yes. Kathy Lackey, yes. And Lori Welch, yes. Request for funding from Baptist Home. Executive Director Kim Harris requested $200,000 from Baptist Home, taking into consideration how much is going to be received from the county tax payments. Kathy Lackey made a motion to approve. Sam Hawkins seconded the motion. Motion carried 4-0 with voting as follows. Jerry Myers, yes. Sam Hawkins, yes. Kathy Lackey, yes. And Lori Welch, yes. Administrator's report. Acting Executive Director Kim Harris presented her administrator's report. Census was 61. Kathy Lackey made a motion to adjourn. Lori Welch seconded the motion. Motion carried. The meeting adjourned at 6:20. The next meeting will be February 12th at 5 p.m. Jerry Myers, Chairman, Shelby is Secretary.
Any corrections or additions to those minutes? If not, they shall stand approved as read. Madam Treasurer?
Well, if you can make sense out of this treasurer's report, you're one up on me. That is the worst bunch of scribbles I think I've ever seen.
Well, it was prepared probably 4 o'clock.
Today?
Today.
So I am not responsible for this.
Just in reference to the finances, I did pick up a check from the county
For taxes?
for taxes. It was a little bit above $315,000. And when I brought it over, we had discussed at the previous meeting about using some of those funds for our outstanding debts.
Right, so we didn't.
And I authorized them to use up to $200,000 of that. In talking with Heather today, it's my understanding that all outstanding debt to employment agencies has been paid.
Wonderful. So we are out from underneath agency.
As far as I know, yes. And we also have received a payment from Medicare from 2020 in the amount of a little over $33,000.
From 2020?
Well, they pay in sequence.
Yeah.
See, we had some bills or things that had not been billed correctly. So they came in, Baptist Home came in and helped us with that. and they do pay in sequence. So we got the one from 2020. So we should be getting some more in the next few days. So I kind of overstepped your.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
As long as you get money, it doesn't matter.
Well, you might note the operating account is well funded.
303,675.763.
And the tax-free also. So, and we did not have to ask the Baptist for 200,000.
How about that?
I make a motion that we approve the report.
Okay, motion made to approve the treasurer's report as presented. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Lori second. Motion made and second to approve the treasurer's report as presented. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Ayes have it. Thank you. Okay, approval of bills. You got bills back here somewhere under your tab.
I'll move we approve the bills.
I think they're all pretty much the same.
Who is Jerry, who is this Angie Geiselman?
Where are you?
On the page 2, right before Dr. Engels.
Page 2.
Angie
Gieselman, or, yeah.
That I cannot
I just
tell
remember
you.
seeing that name before.
That I cannot tell you.
Which one was that?
Angie Gieselman, $700.
Well, it's on the same day as Dr. Engels. I can check on that. I don't know off the top of my head,
Okay.
since we don't have an administrator here to answer that
Right,
question.
Sam made a motion to approve the
Yes,
bills as
yes,
presented, and
yes.
I second.
Okay. Sam made a motion, Shelby second, to approve the bills as presented. Looks like they total $228,388.78. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Ayes have it. Okay, under old business, operating budget and board budget, those were approved at last month's meeting.
Yeah.
So they were just a carryover, I think, on the printout, so we don't need to do anything with those. Ron, you want to give us a SUR update?
The survey that was done by G&W, they were here on the 29th and 30th of January, and just as an aside, they have been very pleased in working with Dalton. I think his background in general contracting is serving us very well. They've done their findings, and you have their proposal to do the full engineering specifications, which will allow you to then reach out and seek out bids for this. It looks like the idea of lining the pipe is not going to work because the cast iron is too frail, as well as where it goes outside and meets the city main, it's apparently just virtually not there. So they are looking at replacing under the crawl spaces, but they'll have to go under, they'll have to go through the rooms in the way we had feared, which is breaking up the concrete to replace those pipes. However, when you get your bids, and I will help you with that. However, I will tell you, I don't have these kind of companies in my back pocket that I know of. Dalton is probably a great resource. He knows of at least a couple of companies that we could reach out to, and G&W would know some companies as well. They have, it's not in their report, but they have verbally mentioned to Dalton a plan where they would work on 6 rooms at a time to avoid the chaos. But I would say to you that is yet to be determined. You've got their proposal for going forward. I got this just today. I've looked at it. I think it's a fair proposal on their part. It's a design build process, which means they will be a part of the team working forward. which means you've got more than just a piece of paper and a report in your hand. So.
How long will the people be out of their rooms?
That is not known at this point until you get an estimate from a contractor.
Gotcha.
Might also mention that the bids we get probably will not include, putting the new floors down.
No.
So that would be an additional expense of,
you're gonna be
replacing the flooring.
Yep, you're gonna be left with raw concrete. And I would make this observation, your toilets are 50 years old. Dalton tells me they're replacing all the internal parts as almost on a daily basis.
Yeah.
It might not be a bad idea, because I do know that utility costs are pretty high here. I said that
Very
very
high.
diplomatically. And a new toilet will pay for itself pretty quick. You know, so. But that would be in addition. But this is difficult for me to be a consultant and not just tell you what to do. Let's see what the bids
That's
say.
just common sense, though.
The replacement of the commodes probably could fall under the grant that we have, assuming, of course, that the bids are under that grant.
If they're yeah, this is a government contract. Use it. Yeah, a government grant, excuse me.
You might note on page 3 of 7 pages, at the top is their engineering fee, $53,600. And then in the next paragraph, engineers be reimbursed at a fee of $2,800 for each site visit. Which really is probably fairly reasonable in the grand scope of things. And we need to approve this proposal, as I need to sign it.
You already signed it, didn't you?
I signed the preliminary to allow them to do this study. But I have not signed the proposal.
I move we accept the proposal.
Kathy Lackey and Sam Hawkins. Okay, a motion has been made to approve the signing of this proposal for the sewer project. Any questions on that? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Ayes have it. I will sign it then.
Mark, do you want a copy of this?
Sure.
I guess that's all right to give you that.
Yep.
Yeah, we have an extra one, yeah. And then you can explain it to us.
Yeah.
The item number 8, that was also in last month's.
Oh, yeah.
And we did approve that. It just, whoever typed this up had not.
Paula wasn't here.
No, we had, somebody was on vacation and
Just make that clear.
things didn't get eliminated that should have been eliminated. Update on nursing department restructure. I don't know, again, since the administrator's not.
Nursing
all of
department
it, you know,
structure.
I do know, I think Brandy talked something about that today. I don't remember exactly what.
I don't either, and when it comes to nursing, I always defer to her, which means
Okay.
I turn my brain off.
Well,
I've had that problem for years.
That's true.
Might not be anything.
going on down, any other old business that we need to take care of? Okay, new business, vendor change, that is simply a change in pharmacy. Is all that amounts to, changing,
So that's happening now?
yes, I think so, yes.
From
And
who? I mean,
From who to who?
all I got, the information was, we're changing pharmacies.
We're not going with
Well, the
players
one,
anymore?
the pharmacy closed out here, so we don't even.
Well, yeah, but I think there's, we've been getting them, from a different spot.
I think it's the pharmacy, are they in Clarence?
Yeah.
Nemo closed door pharmacy
Yeah,
Okay.
in Clarence, part of Johnstonburg.
okay.
So where are we going now?
I don't know. I didn't know anything about it.
Well, the person I asked, that's all they knew also.
I'm gonna
Again,
table this till we know more.
Maybe we should table.
I think it's been done.
Okay.
Oh,
And approval of the new abuse policy, I know nothing about that since the administrator's not here.
abuse policy.
I don't know. That may relate to the policy we passed last month.
No, that was abandonment.
Well, it's also called abuse. Also
Hmm.
called that.
We want to abuse all we can.
Okay, there's nothing left on the agenda except going to executive session.
And we go into executive session.
Okay. Hold on, I know this.
You want, you gotta read all that.
Pursuant of state statute 610.021, section 3.
Okay,
We have that.
yeah. Is there a second to go?
No, wait a
into-
minute, do we have to go out of our regular,
We'd have to pay a
do we have to make a motion to go?
I don't think so.
Okay, okay.
Is there a second to go into the executive session?
I'll second.
Okay, we got it everywhere. Sam, are you in favor of executive session?
Yeah.
Kathy?
Yes.
I vote yes. Shelley?
Yes.
Lori? Okay, and
Yes.
Julia?
Yes.
Started to call her Jennifer, I don't know why. Okay, we are now in executive session.
Thank you all for coming.
Well, we gotta report to them anyway.
Smokers and then people
And Bill.
said about smoking. That's probably something that somebody needs to,
Oh, yes, sir.
I mean,
That's one thing I wanted to bring up. I think we need to pursue a smoking cessation program with our employees, because once Baptist Home takes over, they can't smoke. So we need to start weaning them off.
Well, at the community meeting the other day, we had a resident ask about beer.
Oh, well, I don't know which one of our homes it was, but recently a doctor ordered beer from one of the residents. And I said to Randy, I said, just don't tell Dr. Harrison, it'll be all right.
Okay,
Tell Kathy,
I just
I'll
say,
give
so we're
I'll
out, so
report
then I
you.
say, enter back into regular session.
Yeah, we had, well, we need a motion, well, we had a motion to go back, to leave
Made a
executive.
motion to go out of executive session.
Yeah, and we voted on that, yeah.
Yes.
So we're back in the regular session.
Oh.
So all we need to do now is just report to you what took place in the executive session. We did accept the resignation of Kim Harris immediately, as of today. Because of the contract that we had with her, we will pay her for 1 more month and pay for any accumulated vacation time, as we had a contract of a 30-day notice, either way direction. We did make a motion also to offer Linda Dieter her position back. Of course, it's up to her, whether she takes it or not.
She will.
And we also voted to employ Paula Smith as a temporary director. She had previously been a director at one of the other, at Monroe City. She is allowed her a license to lapse, but you can do like, I forget, 60 days. It's a certain number of time, I think it's 60 days. So she'll have to apply for an emergency license. In the meantime, of course, we will be looking for someone. And that's all that took place.
Could you just give us like a quick update on what's happening with Baptist Homes, and like, is it still in the,
Consulting phase.
you know, are they gonna end up taking over Salt River?
That is the plans, nothing has changed.
Nothing has changed, okay.
Yes.
We'd love to be able to report that.
Right now, we are, well, you were here when we talked about the sewer project. We have a $1.2 million grant from the state of Missouri. Yes, hallelujah. That transfer of ownership cannot take place until that project is finished.
Okay.
Because it was granted to Salt River. And we also have another issue that is pending with the Employment Retention Credit Act. And no transfer can take place until that money is received. So we're looking at hopefully 6 months, might be longer. A lot is going to depend on how long this sewer thing takes. Since it's an inside job.
Indoor job.
Yeah. But it's going to be more extensive than we had anticipated. Because the floors in the individual rooms are going to have to be jackhammered out. And that's going to take time. We had originally hoped that wouldn't have to be the case, but that's going to be the case.
Okay. Well, I'll just keep rolling until you guys adjourn.
Okay.
We'll end with the adjournment.
Adjourn.
Well, I was going to ask if there's any further business.
Well, the smoking cessation, I would like to see us begin that program.
So Jerry, I do have a question too. How are you getting in touch with Linda? And like these other employees that
I will call her tonight.
And what about the ones that have resigned or?
I think they will probably. I plan on being out here in the morning. Are you gonna be here in the morning?
I am for a brief while. The stand-up is at 9.
Yeah, the leadership meeting's at 9. I intend on being here for that.
I'll be here for that.
How many employees did you have resign?
We had 2 that I'm aware, well, 3 that I'm aware of, and others that had threatened. So I don't know, exactly.
One of them tonight said that she would withdraw her resignation already.
So I think that's probably going to what is going to take place. There's one I don't know particularly about, because she had resigned about 2 weeks ago, prior to this. If there's no other business, I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
Here.
Okay, a motion has been made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Ayes have it. Next meeting, March 11, 5 o'clock, boardroom. You can take that with you, Sam, if you want to.
Study it.
Yeah, right.
Thank you all for being here tonight.